Hey, it's Miss Greta. I'm back, and I have another book for you. Monsters, Inc. Late one night, a little boy woke to see a monster in his room. He screamed, "Ah!" Then the monster screamed, "Ah!" With a sigh, the teacher turned off the mechanical boy. Then she repeated the rules: never scream, and never leave a child's door open. It could let the child into Mestropolis. On the other side of the Monsters, Inc. building, James P. Sullivan was arriving for work. Sully was a scarer. It was his job to collect screams from human children. Screams were very important. Their energy powered all of Mestropolis. Sully was very good at his job. In fact, he and his best friend Mike were the best scare team at Monsters, Inc. All day long, Mike set up closet doors for Sully, and all day long, Sully walked through the doors into the children's rooms and scared them. One evening, Mike was on his way home with Roz, the file clerk, asked for his daily paperwork. Mike had forgotten to do it. Sully offered to do the work for him. When Sully returned to the scare floor, he found a child's door still in its scaring position. Puzzled, he peeked through the door. There was no one there. Sully closed the door and stepped back onto the scare floor. Suddenly, he felt a tug on his tail. "Kitty!" a voice called. It was a human child. Sully screamed, "Ah!" Everyone knew that human children were toxic. He tried to return her to her room, but she wouldn't go. Finally, he hid her in a bag and went to find Mike. Mike was at a restaurant with his girlfriend, Celia. Looking through the window, Sully gestured for him to come outside. When they were alone, he explained what had happened. As they talked, the girl escaped and began running through the restaurant. Mike and Sully were in big trouble. Sully scooped up the girl, and the friends raced back to their apartment. They had to figure out a way to get her home, and fast. Mike and Sully tried not to touch the girl, but as Mike backed away from her, he tripped and fell. The little girl giggled. The lights flashed brightly and then went out. Her laughter was even more powerful than her screams. As Sully put the girl to bed, he realized that she was afraid. She thought there was a monster in the closet. Sully decided to stay with her until she fell asleep. Later, Sully told Mike, "This might sound crazy, but I don't think that kid is dangerous." The next morning, Mike and Sully dressed the girl in a monster disguise and took her to work. They had to get her to her door. When they arrived, the office was crawling with Child Detection Agency agents. The CDA was searching for the girl. Luckily, the girl's disguise worked. While Mike went to find the girl's door, she and Sully played together in the locker room. "Boo," she said with a giggle. Just then, Mike returned, but there was another monster close behind him. It was a scarer named Randall. Mike and Sully decked into the bathroom stall. They listened in horror as Randall told his assistant, "Get rid of that girl." When Randall left, Mike and Sully snuck the girl, whom they were now calling Boo, onto the scare floor. But Mike had made a mistake. "This isn't Boo's door," Sully said. Just then, he realized that Boo was gone. He and Mike split up to find her. As Mike searched the halls, Randall cornered him. He told Mike to bring her to the scare floor. He would have her door waiting. Sully found Boo playing with some little monsters. Soon Mike caught up with him. He told Sully about Randall's plan. Together they went to the scare floor, but Sully didn't trust Randall. Determined to prove that the door was safe, Mike stepped through and was captured by Randall. Sully and Boo followed Randall. They learned that he had invented a cruel way to capture screams from kids. He was about to try it out on Mike. Sully rescued Mike and then raced off to find his boss, Mr. Waternose. He needed to warn him about Randall. Sully and Mike found Mr. Waternose in the training room. They quickly explained what had happened. Mr. Waternose promised to fix everything, but he was really working with Randall. He grabbed Boo out of Sully's arms and then pushed the friends through an open door. They were stranded in the Himalayan mountains. Oh my gosh. Sully knew Boo was in trouble. He had to get back to Mastropolis. He and Mike raced to the nearest village and found a closet door to lead them home. Sully rushed to Randall's lab. He tore the machine apart and saved Boo, but he still had to get her to her door. Mike and Sully climbed onto the machine that carried doors to the scare floor. Make her laugh, Sully told Mike. He knew Boo's laughter could power the doors. Suddenly, Randall appeared. He chased his friends through door after door. With Boo's help, Mike and Sully trapped Randall in a closet and shredded the door so he couldn't escape. But they weren't safe yet. Mr. Waternose and the CDA had taken control of the doors. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die, Mr. Waternose told Sully. Waternose didn't realize that the CDA could hear him too. He was arrested by the head of the CDA, the cranky file clerk, Roz. She had been working undercover all along. It was time for Boo to go home. Sully followed her into her room and tucked her into bed. He said goodbye and sadly returned to Mastropolis. Roz ordered the CDA to shred Boo's door. No monster would ever scare her again. After that, the scare floor became the laugh floor, and Sully became president of Monsters, Inc. Sully's discovery that laughter was more powerful than screams meant Mastropolis would never run out of power. But Sully missed Boo. One day, Mike told Sully that he had a surprise. He had put Boo's door back together. Now Sully could visit Boo whenever he wanted. Sully opened the door and peered in. Boo, he whispered. Kitty, an excited voice replied. The friends were united at last. Oh. See you later. Until next time.